Hi, welcome back to What's That Origin? And today we're going to be talking about Port Royal from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. If you've ever seen the Pirates of the Caribbean movies or have played Kingdom Hearts 2 or 3, then you might be familiar with this pirate-infested port. So yeah, it is where the governor lives and his daughter Elizabeth Swann, and it's where just everything starts taking place. It's where pirates go to face trial if they're caught by the Royal Army. But what I didn't know until quite recently is that it was a real place, and it actually is a real place. You can still go there and see like old structures of what remains. So anyways, on to where Port Royal came from. So Port Royal is actually in Jamaica, and I mean, I don't know how many people knew this, but I definitely did not know this, that it was a real place. But Port Royal is in Jamaica, is a peninsula. Yeah, it's a peninsula.
Hold on.
Persephone, can you say peninsula? Originally, Jamaica and Port Royal were taken over by Spaniards, but it got to a point where Spaniards didn't see any financial gain coming from Jamaica, so they left. But yes, at one point, Port Royal was taken over by the British, who tried to see opportunity in it. They turned it into a pretty booming trading merchant location, and it got to a point where the British royal family were actually supportive of pirates, or as they were called, privateers, because these privateers would raid Spanish ships that would linger around. Of course, you know, during that time, a lot of the European countries would face off in wars. You know, there was always some kind of dispute between England and France, or England and Spain, or Spain and France, and pretty much a sinner's paradise, though. Even though it was home to a lot of wealth that could be obtained, it was home to a lot of brothels, prostitutions, pubs, and of course, pirates. It got to a point where the sins in the city were so heinous that when the city was eventually destroyed, it was seen around the world as like a divine intervention because of how it was viewed by, at the time, a pretty religious society. So as said before, the island was originally controlled by Spain from 1494 to 1655. They pretty much just gave permission for whoever wanted to take it to take it. The peninsula became so well known that it was frequented by pirates such as Blackbeard and Captain Morgan, like the one who's named as the mascot for the spiced rum. Even though it was under the authority of England, it became probably one of the most corrupt cities, territories in the whole world. To the point where when Captain Henry Morgan, Captain Morgan of the mascot of Spice Rum. He became lieutenant governor of Jamaica. He tried to clean up the island to the point where he was a pirate who condemned other pirates, privateers, if you will. So Captain Henry Morgan actually started putting in anti-piracy laws, and the punishment was death. So it started off as a safe haven and paradise for privateers who wanted to live the good life with their gold and prostitutes and brothels and bars. It actually started to really become the place that we would see in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. It became a place for pirates to go on trial and to pretty much be sentenced to death by hanging. Even though Henry Morgan's laws became pretty extensive, punishments became pretty extensive, he wasn't able to fully do everything he wanted to do before his death in 1688. And then just 4 years after his death, something devastating happened to the peninsula, to the whole city. So an earthquake ravaged the entire city, and because where the peninsula was on soft sand, the settlers who had gone there started making their houses out of brick. They wanted the traditional British style houses, and because it was made out of brick, it made the buildings very heavy in the soft sand. So when the earthquake happened, these buildings, they just fell because there was no foundation under them to really support them during an earthquake. And then very shortly after the earthquake, was the tsunami that pretty much took out everyone else. So thousands of people died on this peninsula. And since then, the Jamaican government has tried to rebuild the city multiple times, but multiple times, it almost seems cursed. Multiple times there's either been another earthquake or many fires. So yeah, it almost seems like the peninsula is cursed, and because it's definitely prone to a lot of natural disasters. However, a lot of parts still remain to this day. I guess there's still residents living on the peninsula in Port Royal, and as a tourist you can go and see some of the buildings that were not submerged in water. Quite a bit of the peninsula was submerged, but some of it still remains. But like I said, it was in soft sand, so a lot of the remains are kind of sunken. But still, that would be something on my bucket list to see. So I would like to know if people thought that this was a real place or just a place of fiction that Disney had come up with. Obviously, it's a real place, but I personally didn't know until I started looking it up. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think. So do that like, that share thing, and that subscribe thing, and that would make Persephone very happy if you did. Right, Pippa?
Yes!
Yes! Say bye-bye! Say thank you!